Okay, opening the superintendent's contract up for discussion.
I'd like to make a motion to extend Dr. Johnson's contract for 2 years.
Second.
Okay, made by Andrea,
Second.
seconded by Sean. Any further discussion? Barbara?
There's several points that I want to make with regard to this. The main point is that as a governing body, we have a responsibility to look out for the best interests of the town. And in terms of that, we need to have a judge's ruling on the validity of the contract as opposed to Mr. Emerson's ruling that he rendered. Mr. Emerson is the school committee's attorney. He ruled that he agreed with the assistant DA, and Dr. Johnson's attorney had submitted a letter to Mr. Emerson saying that he has a different interpretation from Attorney Emerson. We now have two attorneys with two different opinions, and I believe that according to the language from open meeting law that says that it's invalidation of a contract is at the discretion of a judge, not done automatically by a DA. I believe that we should ask our town's attorney, removing Mr. Emerson from this, ask our town's attorney firm, Copeland and Page, to review this matter and take it before an attorney to review. The intent of open meeting law was met. It wasn't the letter of the law. The intent of open meeting law was met through various media venues. On April 13th, the committee voted on the terms of Dr. Johnson's contract. That was a 5-2 vote. And it's our responsibility to make sure, as I said in the first item, that we look out for the interests of the town and prevent any long drawn-out legal battles with regard to this. I don't have confidence in two attorneys of opposing viewpoints weighing in on this. I think we should take it straight to a judge.
Okay, any other discussion? Nancy?
Yeah. I feel that we have a lawyer for the school committee for a reason, and I know that he spent quite a bit of time in making his decision, so I believe that I'm going to trust his decision that everything has been nullified from the prior meeting, and we are now in need of beginning over again. That being said, this committee I feel needs to revote. It's a new committee. We are the ones who will be living with our decision, and this is not a decision that I think any one of us, no matter which way we vote, takes lightly. It's very serious, and I personally have spent many, many hours speaking with people who believe that the contract should be extended and people who do not. The people that you hear at public forum, some I have spoken to personally, and they have very, very good reasons. The people who you do not hear at public forum have spoken to me privately because they have asked me to keep their information in confidence for reasons of fear of retaliation. So taking all those in context, I also asked for and received a copy of the superintendent's job description, so I could take this information and see what does it all mean, where is it most important. So I reviewed each one of the items that were on the job description, and I have made my decision based on where those fall in the value that I have given to the information that's given to me, and that's how I've determined my vote.
Okay. Jessica?
I outlined my own criticisms when I did the evaluation, which I believe was a month and a half ago or more, actually probably 2 months ago. And my criticisms were based on procedure and philosophy, mainly. When the election occurred, I felt overwhelmingly that the town was in agreement with my criticisms. And the reason I felt that way was because I saw that two major supporters of Dr. Johnson in the contract were not elected, and 2 people who voiced criticism of the superintendent's professional responsibilities or professional activities, they were elected, and won overwhelmingly. So that's why I will vote not for extension.
Any further discussion? Yes, Sean.
I think people are hiding behind certain things that happened at the election. Sherry, I have to go out and say I was on the search committee with you when we were looking for a superintendent when Dr. Young left. I know you and I both voted against Dr. Young being, Dr. Johnson being appointed because of you felt she wasn't a proper candidate. I was really troubled by the process that took place that night, and we both voted the exact same way that night when the school committee sat up here and removed the interim tag from Dr. Johnson's title and just made her the permanent superintendent. You and I were the only 2 people at this table that voted against that. In the past 2 years, I've been able to put those feelings aside and see the educational quality and the things that she's done for this district and move this district forward. I don't think you've been able to do that. I think you're still letting your personal feelings get in the way. You never wanted her to get the job in the first place, and you haven't been able to let go of that. And unless you can sit here in concrete and give us, as we've had some speakers say, some concrete examples of why you would absolutely not rehire someone, I just think that you're letting your personal feelings cloud your judgment and what's best for the kids in this district at this point. I think, that's the best thing for the kids is to keep with what we're doing, to keep continuing the progress we're making under Dr. Johnson's leadership.
Andrea?
I think we've been asked by the parents who have kids in this district to vote in the best interest of the students. And I don't understand how anybody could go into the classrooms and see the work that's going on in those classrooms, bear witness to what the kids are doing in the classrooms, and not vote to extend Dr. Johnson's contract. I can't believe that in this district, not too long ago, we had 3 K through 8 classes that were using different books. They had different curriculums. It was on a path of no success. Now these kids are all on the same curriculum. They're using the same books. The teachers can collaborate together. The administration can collaborate together. It's a program of success for the students, and that's why we should vote to extend Dr. Johnson's contract.
Okay, Jessica?
I think the great thing about democracy is that it's anonymous. You can go into the voting booth and vote for whoever you want, and there's no one standing over your shoulder and saying you need to do this. And so I think it's a great equalizer in our society, and I believe strongly in it. And I think that the voice that is anonymous, to me, is stronger than the voice that is not anonymous at times. And so that's why when I look at what happened in the election and I say, those are voters that are going in anonymously and voting with no one next to them, they're alone, and they're voting for people who have been critical at times of what the superintendent has done or said or whatever in the past several years. And that indicates to me that the town wants change. And it's really not up to what we decide right here all the time. It's up to the voters. And I think that the voters' main voice is the voting booth. And the voting booth happened at a time that was very close to this decision. And if it was last year, that would be different. But it wasn't last year. It was very, very soon before this vote. So I don't think it has anything to do, and I have a great amount of respect for people who come and speak and, put yourself out there and say your beliefs. But I also have to look at the whole town and see what the town wants, because the superintendent is a representative of our town, and the superintendent decides in which direction our town is going.